Shalom, family. Thanks for joining me again today. Family, today we're going to talk about strengthening our faith, especially now in these times. And we need to strengthen our faith of our own self, because my faith is not going to save you. Your faith is not going to save me. My faith is not going to save my family. Your faith is not going to save yours. You cannot operate on somebody else's faith. They're going to have faith of their own, and so do we. Okay? Nobody can piggyback into the kingdom off of somebody else's faith. It's for all of us individually to have faith. We can see examples of that, pretty much all over the scriptures. And so that's what we're going to do today. We're going to go into the scriptures, and we're just going to bear this truth out. We won't go by what Elder Scales say, because I'm a man just like you, and I could lie. So this is why we always go to the scriptures, to prove these things and not take man's word for it. Okay? I've seen many people operate on somebody else's faith or prophecy, and it didn't end well for them. I remember years back, all these so-called Israelite, mostly the camps, telling people it's time to flee and go back to Israel, go back to the motherland, because time was up. Everything was finna come to an end, but yet they didn't go. And there's been cases where people took their advice, and I think a few people lost their life over there in Africa. And some went over there and ended up having to come back because they were broke. And those same people that did all this telling people what they should do now and how the end was here, and they didn't go. But yet and still, every year they set dates, and that's false teaching, that's false prophecy. The Most High did not give them that, because if he did, then they'd have went themselves, wouldn't it? So we need faith and belief and understanding in the Most High of our own. So let's look at 2 Kings chapter 2 and 9. And this is where Elisha asked Elijah for a double portion of what he had. Now, he couldn't operate on Elijah's strength and faith in the Most High, but the Most High gave Elijah authority, to grant these things, and the Most High honored it. Not Elijah himself. He had no power to do anything, but through the Most High, that request was granted, and Elisha was granted a double portion. So Elisha just ended up operating in his own faith and strength, doubly. He did more miracles than Elijah did. But it was his own faith that he requested through Elijah, which was granted by the Most High. Okay? If we go to Acts chapter 19, around verse 15, where these people sit around and watch Paul heal people, you know, using a handkerchief. He's casting out demons and healing people and all that. And they thought they could operate in Paul's faith and in his strength. See? And so what did they do? They went and tried it. They went and tried to cast out a devil in a man, you know, and using Paul, you know, name and stuff like that, and it didn't work. Because what that demon said, he said, Yahushua I know, and Paul I know. He said, but who are you? And that demon jumped all over him. See, they trying to operate in somebody else's faith or power, and you can't do that. See, they had no faith at all of their own, but they gonna go and try to invoke the name of Paul or Mashiach, and the demons just jumped on him and said, well, I know Paul, you know, and I know Mashiach, but who are you? See, we can't operate off of nobody else's faith. Romans chapter 10, verse 17 says, faith come by hearing, and hearing by the word of the Most High. That is true. But there's more to go with that too. See? And so let's go to James chapter 2:18 and see what else is required. It says, some will say, you have faith, and I have works. Show me your faith without your works, and I will show you my faith by my works. Verse 19, it says, you believe there's one Elohim. So you do well. In other words, he's saying, you believe there's only one God, one Elohim. That's good. You do well. But what did he say right after that? He said, even the demons believe and tremble. And verse 20 says, faith without works is dead. So, family, we have to act on our faith. That's what it means in this scripture by the works. We're not talking about the other works like feeding the poor, you know, those kind of works. No, the works that confirms your faith. The actions you take when you say you believe. Like Abraham. It says, you know, that righteousness was imputed unto Abraham because he believed the Most High and became a friend of the Most High. But Abraham acted on his belief and his faith when the Most High requested of him to kill his son. Now, Abraham did not know that the Most High wasn't going to let him go through with it. But he acted in faith and went to take his son's life. And the Most High stopped him. He had no idea the Most High was going to stop it. But he was acting. That was his works. And by that, it made his faith perfect. See? You can say you believe all day long, but when crunch time comes, what do? Okay? Daniel, he didn't know that the Most High was going to close the mouths of those lions, you know? But he still had faith and he obeyed the Most High, even though he knew that it was a law against him praying to the Most High. He had no idea. I mean, as far as he concerned, you know, those lions were going to rip him apart. See? But he acted on his faith. And so did the Hebrew boys. They had no idea that the Most High was going to save them from that furnace. But it was their faith. And this is why they angered Nebuchadnezzar when they told him, we don't even need to answer you. You know, we don't owe you no explanation for this. And it made him mad, and he heated the furnace up seven more times. And they told him, you know, if it be so, the Most High will save us from this furnace. But if not, we just want you to know we're not going to bow down. See, that's works. That's acting on what you say you believe. You know, that's what we have to do. You know, Job is a perfect story for it. You know, now most people think that, have an idea in their head that the Most High was trying to prove something to Satan. That wasn't it at all. He had nothing to prove to Satan. The Most High already knew Job's heart. He knew Job wouldn't turn against him, no matter what. And so really, the Most High used that opportunity to straighten out a few little flaws within Job. And that was self-righteousness. But he knew Job wouldn't turn on him. You know, and this is what Satan thought. Yeah, well, I know he's loyal to you. Look what you did for him. I mean, he's rich. He's got a healthy family. You know, you put all this hedge around him. Well, yeah, of course he's going to worship you and be loyal to him. But he said, remove that stuff, and I bet he'll curse you to your face. And the Most High already knew Job wouldn't do that, but he allowed that to happen. And we know that Job didn't. He's saying all the things that happened to Job, he did not foolishly charge the Most High. He sinned not. I mean, his wife seen him going through all that and suffering. She said, all this is happening to you and you still faithful? Say, just go ahead and curse the Most High and die. And Job looked at her and said, now you talking like a foolish woman. And he didn't call his wife a fool, but he said she was talking as a foolish woman. You know, I'm not going to do that. But like I say, Job had issues. He had this a bit of, though he loved the Most High, you know, and he hated sin, he still had an issue with self-righteousness. And I think Job spent almost a whole chapter trying to proclaim to the Most High, well, I do this and I do that, you know. And family, with us, our little righteousness is as filthy rags. You don't bring that up to the Most High, you know. And this is the lesson really about Job. Because his own friends were trying to tell Job, well, Job, this is happening to you because of some kind of sin, which it wasn't. The Most High took issue with his friends because they judged that situation falsely or wrongly. It wasn't about Job sinning. The Most High was trying to teach Job another lesson about his self-righteousness. See? And I think the last 4 or 5 chapters where the Most High was correcting Job. For the last 4 or 5 chapters, he lit in on Job and he straightened him out. Job finally had to say, you know what, I spoke out of turn. You know, I'm not going to say nothing else. So that was the lesson in that. And the Most High, you know, blessed him again with more than he had at first. So that was what happened. Job was just throwing up his little deeds, his little righteousness. And you don't throw up nothing in front of the Most High. Okay? Like I say, our righteousness is as filthy rags. Okay? Now, we see where some churches teach that, well, mostly all of them, that we don't have to obey the law. No, once you accept Jesus, you know, the law's done away with. You know, okay, well, tell me which one is done away with. Okay, thou shalt not commit adultery. Is that one done away with? I mean, after we accept Mashiach, then it's okay for us to go and commit adultery, right? Thou shalt not steal. So we can continue being thieves. See? Thou shalt not covet thy neighbor's wife or anything. We can do that now. See, we can have other gods before the Most High. See, we can do that now. Since the law is done away with, any of those laws that you read in the Ten Commandments, we can do them now. See, this is what goes on in these churches when they say the law is done away with. The sacrificial laws, yes, because Mashiach is the ultimate sacrifice. See, we don't do them anymore, but he told you plainly he did not come to destroy the law of the prophets, but to fulfill them. You know, and through Mashiach we have grace and mercy. As long as we obey, he told us in his own words, if you love me, keep my commandments. After all, they were his. Mashiach just didn't exist when he came through Mary. He always has existed. He is the word of the Most High. He's the one that gave the commandments, if you just want to know. Okay? So, let's see what Paul has to say about that, since we don't have to keep the law. Romans chapter 6, verse 1 and 2. What shall we say then? Shall we continue in sin, that grace may be abound? Verse 2, Yah forbid. How shall we that are dead to sin live any longer in it? See? Just because we have grace and mercy and faith in Mashiach, that don't allow us to continue to sin. He didn't come here to die for us so we can continue to commit adultery and anything else. He didn't come to do that where we can continue in sin. And so anybody that believe those folks in these Christian churches, you know, you probably halfway out of your mind. All right? Let me read from Matthew. You know, why we got to have our own faith. You can't live off anybody else's faith, family. You're going to have to build that up for yourself by staying in the Word, by believing. Let's read Matthew chapter 9. I'm going to read from verse 27 to 29, okay? And when Mashiach departed thence, 2 blind men followed him, crying and saying, Thou son of David, have mercy on us. And when he was coming to the house, the blind men came to him. And Mashiach said unto them, Believe ye that I am able to do this? They said unto him, Yea, Lord. Then he touched their eyes, saying, According to your faith be it unto you. Not Elder Scales' faith, not Peter's faith, not John's faith. He said, according to your faith be it unto you. See, we can't live off of somebody else's faith, man. He said, according to your faith. It's plain. It's simple. He said, according to your faith be it unto you. So we're going to have to grow our faith, man. You know, let me see here. Yeah. I'm gonna finish reading from James chapter 2. I'm gonna go on down to where I mentioned a while ago. So we'll go to where I want to start. I'm gonna start with James chapter 2, verse 20, and I'm just gonna go ahead and read it all the way to 23. I mentioned it a while ago, but let's read it, okay? It says, But wilt thou, O vain man, know that faith without works is dead? You can believe, you can have faith all you want to, but when you got to act on it too. See, that's how your faith is made perfect. When you act on it. All right? Verse 21. Was not Abraham, our father, justified by works when he had offered Isaac, his son, upon that altar? See what I mean by that word works? It's not something what Abraham was doing like other things that we do. The works is his faith. The works is him taking action on his faith, on what he believed. So he put his own son on the altar and was going to kill him. Verse 22 said, seest thou how faith wrought with his works, and by works was faith made perfect? Verse 23, and the scripture was fulfilled, which said, Abraham believed the Most High, and it was imputed unto him for righteousness. And he was called the friend of the Most High. See, that was his works. He put his son on that altar and drew back that knife to go ahead and take him. See, he was acting upon his faith in the Most High, his belief and trust in the Most High. See, family, we're going to go through some stuff here shortly. And so we're going to need to get our faith intact. Now, granted, family, everybody's faith, as it is not on the same level. This is why I don't try to downplay somebody else's faith, and, you know, how a lot of Christian pastors do when they tell you you're going to get a miracle, you're going to be healed if you give this money, and then when it don't happen, what do they say? Oh, well, you didn't have enough faith. You know, some of that foolishness. Like you can buy a blessing from the Most High, which you can't. But it is your faith where you are now. I will never criticize somebody in this day and time if they are believers, but yet they choose to wear a mask, you know, and social distance. You know, that doesn't mean they don't have a relationship with the Most High, but their faith isn't where yours may be or mine may be. Now, I won't wear one, other than where the places where it require a person to wear one. But that's my faith. See? And the Most High is honoring my faith at my level. See? But as you grow into the Most High, your faith is going to increase because He's going to see to it. You may be a babe now, but what He does, He throws a little wrinkle in there every now and then, you know, to see how you're going to handle it. And as you continue to grow, family, trust me, I know what I'm talking about. Those trials get a little bit heavier as you are able to handle them, you know. In fact, let's read 1 Corinthians 10:13. There has no temptation taken you, but such as is common to man. But the Most High is faithful, who will not suffer you to be tempted above that you are able, but with the temptation also make a way to escape, that you may be able to bear it. See, the Most High knows where each and every one of us is in our faith. And everybody's not on the same level, family. It happens over a period of time. The more things you go through and be successful, you know, in dealing with it without falling away. See, He's not It's not the Most High's purpose or intent when he put you through these little trials to destroy you. No, it's to grow you. So that's why he allows people who are new in the faith, he throws a little bit at them that he know they should be able to handle. And as you grow, some of those trials might get a little bit heavier, family. I've had to go through a lot of them that I wouldn't even expect somebody who's a babe in this word or a babe in their faith to bear. It can get a little rough, family. But in all that, he's just making you out of pure gold. He's strengthening your faith so that you'll be able to do what Job did. In spite of all he lost, got sick, boils all over his body and all that, he never went into backsliding or apostasy or falling away. See? So Job was tested severely, which many of us have never even experienced that yet. But that's what the lesson was in there, that Job understood that. Okay, I don't have riches no more. My family's dead. I'm sick. But I'm still not going to curse the Most High. Because he understood it does not take material things to live, to honor and obey and worship the Most High. Family, if you got a roof over your head and you have food and water, be thankful because you have what you need to sustain life. Everything else we got, family, is creature comforts, things that we have acquired. Our cell phones and smart TVs and all that. We can live without them. Now, I know it's hard. I'm not going to be no hypocrite and make like it ain't hard, because on 3 or 4 occasions, I've left the house to go to the store, Walmart or something, which is about 4 miles from my house. I get halfway there, realize that I left my cell phone at home, and turn around and go back and get it. When I could have just kept on and went to the store and bought what I wanted and then go back home. But see, that's how spoiled we are. See, with these creature comforts, and I'm not the only one. I know some of you out here listening to me now that have done the same thing. You leave house and realize you don't have that cell phone, you gonna make a beeline back to that house. Am I right? So, the Most High's grace is sufficient. We can eat. We're not out in the cold. We got shelter. I mean, even when it came down to it, family, we can live without a car, because none of our ancestors, our forefathers, had no car when they had to make them long journeys to tithe and all this. They had to walk. Neither one of them had a Chrysler or a Ford or a Beamer or none of that. They had to walk. We've gotten so spoiled and lazy, family. We can have a store down on the next block from our house, and we'll fire that car up and drive down there. Huh? Am I right? See? So, these creature comforts are convenient, family, but they've ruined us. They really have. That's why when things get bad and our electric get cut off, and things aren't readily available no more, when these folks start fooling with the economy and the ability to, buy things and all this, the TVs and stuff go off, your internet go down, your cell phone is no longer active, what are we going to do? See? Now, like the Most High had complete confidence in Job, He knew Job's heart. He already knew that Job wouldn't turn. I got a question to ask. Does he know us like that? Huh? Just put yourself in Job. Do the Most High know that about me? See? Or can we say the same thing? When we're discomforted, when all these creature comforts are no longer available to us, will the Most High be able to say the same thing about us as he said about Job? Would he be able to tell Satan, you see my daughter over here? You see my son over here? You notice that, they're upright and they hate evil? Will he be able to say that about us when we lose everything? Just think about that. Okay? I remember, family, it's been some years back, maybe about, I don't know, probably, it's over 10, I know. Where I live, we had a pretty bad hailstorm. The hail was about the size of $50. And everybody's roof got tore up. And everybody's car got beat up and windshields knocked out and all that. And I live right in the middle of them. The street I live on is probably just a little under a quarter mile long. So it's plenty of houses on this street. And that hailstorm came and it beat up everybody's house and cars and stuff. But guess what, family? My car was outside also and didn't get a scratch. My roof was in the same hailstorm and didn't get a shingle broken. Not one. I mean, our neighborhood was full of roofers and things like that for 2 weeks. People getting their cars repaired and all. And my next door neighbor came over. Man, was your truck sitting out here? Yeah, it was. Now, he had a brand new truck and he was beat. Oh, man, it was beat up. He said, but your truck didn't get damaged? No, not a scratch. Your roof didn't get no damage? Nope. And most of us have the same insurance company. And so as the insurance company was sending adjusters out there to the neighborhood, they called me and asked me, did my house sustain any damage? I said, well, no, it didn't. Because I went up on the roof and looked, and it didn't. My car wasn't damaged. So I told him, no, I didn't get any damage. You sure? Yeah, I'm sure. I said, but I tell you what, you can go ahead and write me the check anyway. I can use it. But that's what happened, fam. And that reminded me of some verses in Psalms 91. And let me read it. Psalms 91:7. 1,000 shall fall at thy side, and 10,000 at thy right hand, but it shall not come nigh thee. Psalms 91:10. There shall no evil befall thee, neither shall any plague come nigh thy dwelling. Psalms 91:15. He shall call upon me and I will answer him. I will be with him in trouble. I will deliver him and honor him. See, all those verses come to mind. I'm right in the middle of this hailstorm. And it just didn't come near my dwelling. That's just... They didn't understand why my car and my roof didn't get tore up, but I did. The Most High has pretty good aim. If he wants to protect his own, he will. And that's exactly what happened. See, the Most High will let you go through things, family, and I'm talking mainly to the new converts. He's going to test you. Just know that. Okay? It won't be nothing that you can't handle. But this is how your faith begins to grow. When you overcome one hurdle, then another comes. you know, and he's just growing you in your faith. He's not trying to destroy you. That's Satan's job. See, when things happen and Satan get in your head, see, he's the accuser of the Most High. See, when things happen and you let him into your spirit, he's going to accuse the Most High. See, now you worshiping God. Look what happened to you. Look what happened to your car. Look what happened to your house. See, he's the accuser of it. But it is not the Most High's intention, ever, you know, to destroy you when he allowed these tests or trials to come upon us. It's to grow you so your faith be made perfect in him. That's the whole idea. You know, Satan is the one, he's the accuser. In fact, let's read Revelation 12, verse 9 through 11. And the great dragon was cast out, that old serpent called the devil and Satan, which deceiveth the whole world. He was cast out into the earth, and his angels were cast out with him. And I heard a loud voice saying in heaven, Now is come salvation and strength, and the kingdom of our Elohim, and the power of his Messiah. For the accuser of our brethren is cast down, which accused them before our Elohim day and night. Verse 11, And they overcame him by the blood of the Lamb, and by the word of their testimony, and they loved not their lives unto death. See, he's the accuser. See, he's always trying to accuse. Anytime something happened to us, family, and you don't have on that whole armor of the Most High, then those thoughts coming, you know what, maybe this stuff just don't work. You know, maybe that is not a God. See, this is what caused the falling away, family, when you allow that to happen. That's what caused people to fall away and leave the faith. Because something happened and the spirit, Satan, gets in their head and start accusing the Most High, and you're too weak to fight it off. You know. But, you know, we just have to believe, you know, in what Mashiach did. You know, his blood. You know, and let's see what it says about Mashiach's blood. Hebrews chapter 9, verse 22 through 28. And almost all things are by the law purged with blood, and without shedding of blood is no remission. It was therefore necessary that the patterns of things in the heavens should be purified with these, but the heavenly things themselves with better sacrifices than these. In other words, it was always required for blood to be shed for remission of sins. Our forefathers had to do it once a year. You know, an innocent animal had to be killed, and the blood offered upon the Ark of the Covenant for the remission of our sin. It didn't do away with our sin, but we had to keep doing it. We had to go every year. And this is why it said something better was coming, and that was Mashiach. When he shed his blood, it was once and for all. He didn't have to go back to no tree being hung every year. It did away once and for all with the sacrificial laws. Okay? He was the perfect sacrifice. You know, it always has been, you know, the shedding of blood. When we are in Mashiach and we are doing our best to follow him, our best life, our best effort, then when we stumble, I said stumble. I didn't say willfully sin, did I? I said when we stumble, then that grace is there and mercy. See, when the Most High looks down on us, he sees the blood of Mashiach. Case in point, when our fathers were in Egypt, historical Egypt, when the death angel come through there, what was they told to do? To kill a lamb, a little innocent lamb, and put his blood around the doorpost, right? And to go inside and shut the door. So that when that death angel came through there, it would pass over that house, the houses that had the blood. That's where we get the word Passover. It passed over those houses that had the lamb's blood on it. Okay? And it is the same way with Mashiach. When the Most High sees us, even though we're not perfect, family, he still sees the blood of Mashiach. Okay? And this is why I don't know why these pastors keep teaching people they don't have to keep the law or they don't have to obey the law. Yes, you do. That goes with it. Okay? Now just think what would have happened if any one of the Israelites were to dare disobey his instruction and wanted to be nosy and go outside to see what was going on. He would have died too. See, being an Israelite is not going to protect you from disobedience. If he'd have walked outside and didn't stay behind them doors that was painted with the lamb blood, he would have died too. See, the Most High is not a respecter of persons in that manner. You step outside of what he said do, then you're subject to the same punishment as evildoers. Okay? Because you're not covered by the blood. Alright? And so, we're going to have to work on our faith, family. I believe we're heading into some bad things. And we have to watch what we allow to take place in our presence too, because a lot of times, you know, the Most High will punish the whole group for the sin of one. As in Joshua. I think after they captured Jericho and the Most High gave them instructions that what they could take and what they couldn't. And somebody took it on themselves to take that silver and gold out of there. And the Most High was going to punish every last one of them. He told them, somebody got disobeyed me and got to go find out who it is. And they went and searched the tents and they found out who took the silver and gold, and they took him out and stoned him. See? Because you'll get the whole group in trouble. Just like our forefathers did to us. You know, when they put Mashiach to death, you know, what did they say? Let his blood be on our hands and on our children's hands. See, they passed that right on to us. Okay? So, don't allow evil to be in your presence, family. You know, if I'm just using as an example, if you got somebody in your family who's attracted to the same sex, do not co-sign with that. Do not encourage it. But yet you try to show them how this lifestyle is going to kill you. You know, you're going to be condemned for it. But you don't know that they're like that and then help them in that sin. Well, I understand. No, you're not supposed to understand that. Yeah, I understand, but look, I got a friend boy, you know, that might be interested in you. Well, you helping him, you know, sin. So therefore, you're committing the same thing. See? You're doing just what he's doing when you help. Or you got a sister and you condone it. Well, I got another friend girl that might be interested in you. See, you become a part of that. See, you may as well do it yourself. because you're a part of it now. See? So, as it is with these people that followed Trump and his wickedness, they did exactly what he said to do. Now look at all of them. They pretty much in trouble. And he's sitting back somewhere. See? They condoned his behavior the whole time he was in office. His racism and everything. They condoned it. You know, they were complicit in his instructions to go down to the Capitol building and do what they did. But now, that sin and judgment has fell upon them. See, these people don't think for themselves. You know, it's follow the leader to them. And a lot of times these leaders will get you into trouble. I mean, even David, you know, a lot of people died because of what David did. You know, he numbered the people, which he wasn't supposed to. And the angel was on his way to Israel to take them out, and the Most High just stopped him. You know, after 70-something thousand people were killed, and the angel was headed to Jerusalem to kill them too, and the Most High said, that's it. Oh, okay, stay your hand. The Most High just stopped it. But see, sometimes your leaders will get you into trouble too. See, so you have to keep them in check. You know, don't follow after everything they say. This is why we stay away from politics, because whatever that person does in office that you voted for, you're complicit in whatever he does that's evil. Okay? Make no mistake about that. This is why we're told over and over again, come out of her, my people, that you be not partakers of her sins and her plagues and her judgments. Be ye separate. Okay? And so we just going to have to get in faith. We can't live in fear, because fear is a destroyer of faith. It is a destroyer of faith. Let's read Proverbs 29, verse 25. The fear of man bringeth a snare, but whoso putteth his true trust in the Most High shall be saved. See, when we listen to all this fear-mongering that's going across mainstream media and stuff, and we start fearing and stuff, then you'll start wavering in your faith. See, you'll stop believing, well, you know what, I trust in the Most High, you know, and I'm going to act accordingly. Whatever he leads me to do is what I do, not what they say on the media. See, when you start listening to that fear-mongering and let that fear get in you, you really destroying your faith. After a while, you'll stop believing at all, at any of it. Okay. Romans 8:15. For you have not received the spirit of bondage again to fear, but you have received the spirit of adoption, whereby we cry, Abba, Father. See, we're not supposed. Fear is bondage, family. That's what fear is, bondage. Because when you're in fear, you know, your mind is in bondage. You become afraid. You forget all about the Most High. See, you're back in bondage when you let these people put fear in you. Just obey the Most High and seek him out and pray, you know, and that'll pretty much take care of the faith. Believe in him. You have to believe in him, and you have to trust him, and you have to act accordingly, not just lip service. Okay? Romans 8, 38 and verse 39. For I am persuaded that neither death, nor life, nor angels, nor principalities, nor powers, nor things present, nor things to come, nor height, nor depth, nor any other creature shall be able to separate us from the love of the Most High, which is in Yahushua HaMashiach, our Elohim. See, we're not to be shaken by these things that we see and the things that are going to come up on the earth, because it didn't sneak up on us, family. You know, we as believers, if we've been studying the script, we know these things were going to happen. They were already prophesied and spoken of. We're just beginning to see the fulfillment of it. You know, we're just at the beginning of it. You know, we're seeing these things being fulfilled. So we were already warned. The Most High always warns his people before things happen. You know, a lot of times we just don't heed the warnings. You know, but he always has. He'll let you know what's going to happen if you do this or if you don't do that. See? So these things shouldn't be a surprise to us. We know they were going to happen. A lot of us just didn't expect that it would happen in our lifetime. We was thinking it was maybe 50, 60 years down the road. You know I didn't. I didn't think I'd be alive to see it start happening. For sure. You know. And most of you didn't. You never even imagined that you start seeing this prophecy start fulfilling right in front of your very eyes. Okay? Matthew chapter 6 verse 34 says, take therefore no thought for tomorrow, for tomorrow shall take thought for the things of itself. Sufficient unto the day is the evil thereof. See? Now, we're supposed to be prepared. We're supposed to be aware of what's going on, family. But don't sit up here and go, man, these folks is going to do this next week. Or tomorrow they going to do this, you know. Don't worry about it. Tomorrow haven't come yet. And it's not even promised to nobody. Wait till tomorrow comes. And then deal with it on that day. But don't live in fear all week of what somebody said they're going to do, you know, a week from now or 2 days from now. Just be aware of it. Prepare yourself and deal with it. Be prepared to deal with it. But you can't live in fear. That's their whole method of operation. This is why they're able to get so many things over on us, because people fear. You know, they tell us it's a virus out here. What did it do? It plunged the whole nation into fear. See? Everybody. It plunged the whole nation, with the exception of, you know, a remnant of people, into fear. And so, therefore, they set themselves up to accept anything else, including the vaccine, including when the Sunday law comes in. See, you've already set yourself up for it, to be obedient to this world system. And that's what it was all about in the first place. To put people in fear. When you're in fear, you'll agree to anything. Okay? Now, I can tell you right now, straight up, I'm not taking no shot. I can truthfully tell you that right now. Whatever they need to do to me, they're going to have to do it, because I'm not going to do it. You know, and I know the evilness behind it. Oh, no. No. You take my little possessions and everything else, I just have to depend on the Most High to sustain me. You can have this little materialistic junk. You know? See, when our people were in the wilderness, the Most High gave them everything they needed to sustain life. Family, Their clothes never even wore out. Their shoes never wore out. The whole time they were in that wilderness. Think about that. He fed them manna, which they didn't appreciate, but he fed them manna, and that manna had every nutrient, every vitamin, every essential vitamin that we need to sustain our bodies. That was manna from heaven. Now, what did they want? I want to go back to Egypt, man. If we had some meat then, had steak and lamb chops, But he gave them everything they need to sustain life. What more do we want, family? If we could eat peanut butter for the rest of our lives, if it would sustain our life, what else do we need? That's all any food gonna do. It sustain your life. If peanut butter contains everything in it that we need, every vitamin, everything, like the manna did, what more do you need? You may not like it, but it sustains life because it's from the Most High. Okay? So we have to trust that the Most High knows what he's doing. But they didn't. And they were unthankful and ungrateful. So let us not make the same mistake that our forefathers made in unbelief and no faith, thinking they know better than the Most High. See, that's man's problem right now. He thinks he knows more than the Most High. He thinks he knows how to run this world better than the Most High. See, and he's ruined it. He's ruined the ground. He's ruined the air. The water, the food, with all these GMOs, man's wisdom thinking he knows more how to sustain. All he had to do was grow the crops according to the Most High. You grow them for 6 years and you let the land rest for 7 years. 1 year. That's the sabbatical year. But people don't go by that nowadays. People just plant, year in, year out. And it's not good for the land. Okay? So let's get our act together, family. Let's if your faith isn't where it should be, then you just ask the Most High to help you with your faith. And he will. He'll guide you through it. Like I say, he'll throw a little wrinkle in the road here and one there and all that, but it's all to grow your faith. He's answering your request. You want to grow your faith, it won't be without trial, family. It won't be without testing. Okay? How would you know where your faith is unless it's tested? Huh? Think about that. That's just like owning a firearm. You don't know if the thing will shoot or not until you actually put a bullet in it and shoot it. So you can say you have faith all you want to, but until it is tested, we don't know. Okay? Okay, family. I think that'll be enough said for today. And Most High willing, talk to you later. So